Yeah, I think tonight was probably our best effort at lining up against the Galaxy. It's no secret. First time we came out in the back five, and I thought tactically it caused them a lot of problems. I felt really confident about the way we were getting after them, causing them mistakes. I didn't feel like they were comfortable in possession, which they are very. Um, and the first goal, of course, pretty unlucky. We get that back. No panic in us. We respond really well. The second one right before halftime is really hurts. Just the timing of that. Try to that's always as leaders we try to talk about the last five, first five. Both halves. And then we're pushing from then on to try to get something, and the late goals are kind of um, water under the bridge. But really proud of the way we approached the game. I thought, like I said, tactically this was our best effort. Felt like we went toe to toe with them, for long stretches of that game, and probably our most complete game against them. And they're a good team, a lot of skilled players, good coaching. They've got a good system, and um, big picture, as I just said to the guys, we took a big step forward this year as a club, and that's the only thing that you can really try to tell each other after after a night like that. Yeah, there's not many words that really feel great or sound good, but it was a big step forward and a good year for the club, and that I think we should all be proud of.
For the Denver Post, just what was kind of the emotion? Obviously, the scoreline doesn't really reflect how the game went. What was kind of the emotion after the whistle, walking into the locker room, and what was kind of the message from Chris afterwards?
Yeah, it's of course there's disappointment, and you don't want to believe that it's over, but at the same time, we run into a really good team, and I think at least tonight we feel like we've given a lot closer to our best, and unfortunately that wasn't enough tonight. But I don't think we can quite say that in the other three games that we've played them. Um, and again, like I said, I think the only thing that we can really try to tell each other after that is the big picture, and how the season as a whole has gone, and the success that we've had, and the steps forward that we've taken.
Hey, Keegan, Keith Richards, Team MBS Media. Looking back on this season, especially compared to last season, like you said, the team did accomplish a lot. Made it to the playoffs, got a home playoff game, third place in the League's Cup. If there's one thing that you can say you're most proud of about the team this season, what would that be?
I think the way that we've just taken in a new staff, new players, new system, and kind of taken it in stride, and and I think part of our goal to start the year was to kind of win that fan base back after a couple of unsuccessful seasons, and especially last year being very disappointing and hard to get through. We had to win some people back, and I think we did that, and I think we made some new fans out of people, and that's a big accomplishment in our eyes. I think Chris and I talk so much about the fan support and what they mean to us and the club, and what it does for us on the field, and that's what it's all about. And um, not to mention, of course, some of those tangible accomplishments with the Rocky Mountain Cup, the third place, the Champions Cup, all these things. But I think the way that we've come together and immediately under new leadership feel like we have kind of started this new system and new tactics and kind of taken it in stride, and um, it's very difficult to one year to the next have that big of a turnaround. I know in MLS it's probably more common than other leagues, but I think that that can't be understated. It's a big accomplishment.
Keegan, Georgie's playing on one leg. You didn't have Cole tonight. What wasn't there enough there defensively, given Galaxy were kind of compact at times? You had some set piece opportunities. What could you have done better to threaten them? Thank you.
Yeah, I think I think we probably aren't as sharp as we could be attacking wise, and in the final third, with some of those final balls, some of those final sequences in and around their box, and like I said, final third, and we also talk about finishing attacks, which whether it's a goal kick, corner kick, shots saved, these kind of things that don't lead to then in transition. And I think we could have done that a bit better. And again, if a team's got a lead and they're going to sit back a bit, it's one of the hardest things to do is to break a team down and not turn the ball over in those areas. So I think it's critical, but I think we could have been sharper in the final third. And those final balls, final passes, some of those touches, but I do feel like we created enough to at least tie for sure and take us to penalties.
Kind of going off of Keith's question, when you look at the success you've had this season, some of the things you mentioned, the foundation that's been laid with the culture and with the on-field product, just what kind of makes you most excited about next year and beyond?
I think our ability to like I said, take that in stride so quickly to begin this year, and have a year under our belt together, which what I assume will be a lot of the same nucleus for next year and same guys involved, and we're gonna need even more, farther down the roster with Champions Cup and more games. I assume Open Cup is coming back and Leagues Cup. It ends up being, if you're successful, probably 45, almost 50 games, and that's a real challenge. And but I'm excited again about now that we've had a year together and a year to kind of figure out each other's tendencies and mature and learn from each other and figure out how we can respond in times of stress and adversity. And I think I said it in the press conference to preview the playoffs. I mean, some of those Leagues Cup results, when you go into a Club America game and sit low and defend and get through something like that and get a result, and you feel like you're invincible. If you can suffer like that as a group together, I mean, you've got this real powerful feeling about you, and I think that it's going to be something we draw on for years to come: tournament play, knockout play, playoffs, and like I said, I'm excited about the experiences we've had together this year, and hopefully we can draw on them going forward.
Keegan, one player that doesn't get talked about enough is Andres Maxu, who played every minute of every game this season. Unless I'm wrong, I think he played every minute of every game across all competitions as well. How impressive were you with his performance this season, and how does that make your job a lot easier in the back?
Yeah, I've gotten to know Maxu much better this year. We sit beside each other in the locker room, a couple of the older guys on the team, and he's gotten so much more comfortable here, living in the country, learning the culture a bit, and he's everything you want in a leader, in a pro, in a teammate, and I'm happy for him. I don't think he even probably would want us talking about him now like we are, but again, kind of speaks to who he is. He's all business. I mean, I think the saying goes that the best ability is availability, but I mean dependability, and to be able to just rely on a guy no matter what, no matter the circumstances, the conditions, the opponent. Every single game he's there, he's ready to go. Probably one of the first guys on the team sheet for the staff, picking the team night in and night out, and yeah, not only makes our jobs easier in the back, but as a leader as well. He's one of those guys you can lean on, says the right things at the right time. We'll nudge guys when they need it, push guys along when they need it, and very helpful as well. You need that in the locker room. He's come from championship experience, and we need more of that here. And it's contagious, and proud to be a friend and teammate.
Keegan, probably the most different tactical look in terms of, more of a 3-4-3 or back 3-4-5. You tell me what it was if you want, but I mean, your thoughts on you playing on that side with Reggie and the thinking behind that and how comfortable you two were in those roles.
Yeah, the idea I think was to affect them a bit more with the ball and disrupt their build-up and their ability to get it to wingers and isolate and even just disrupt the early stages of their build-up, like I said, because they're so good in possession. And I thought, Vinzi and I did such a good job of jumping out to their fullbacks, and at times they're kicking it out of bounds because of the timing of pressure. And that's just specifically in our roles in that system, to get out and then to shift and cover on the backside. But I again, I felt really good about the way that we set up, the way we executed the game plan, the way that we disrupted them and caused them to feel, I think, the pressure and turnovers. And the first goal is a, sets us back a bit, but we get it back. And then, like I said, the timing of that second goal really hurts, and we need to see the half out. But I thought, something to be proud of tonight was the way we take on, again, something pretty new and execute pretty well.
Well, my opening comments, to the room. First, thank you, all of you, for the year. Just being here, making us relevant, and being with us on the journey. So, wish run could have kept going, but we'll look forward to next year. Look, when you're in this sport long enough, and I've been around a bit as a coach now, and a long time as a player. Come in January, you set off on a journey and you have goals, and the ultimate prize, call it MLS Cup, you always set, and you're on the hunt for that thing, and you get shown that most often, and for some, you never get it. So the season ends up ending at some point for most people, most players, most coaches, every single year. Unless you're one of the lucky ones that's really in the final every year. And I've been fortunate, so I've been part of that. But most often, this is kind of how it goes. And it makes you hungry to come back for more. It's what keeps me going. And that's, I remind the players, as tough as it feels right now, that's that feeling you never want to have. So you just fight to be the last one standing. And that's the reality of sport. So, look, I'm really proud of the season. I'm proud of the group. I'm honored to be the coach of the Colorado Rapids. I think, once again, there's a lot to be proud of. And at some point I can reflect on that. But I think it's been a successful year in many ways. Just a tough ending to it all. And I'm gratefully part of it, and to our fans who really, not just tonight, but all year long, came out for us in big numbers, big ways. I think the boys, my team, and we've re-energized a fan base, a soccer community, and I'm grateful to our fans that showed up once again.
Brayden Nurse with the Denver Post. Just take me through the emotion after the final whistle. Going back to the locker room, I'm not sure if you spent time with the fans and thanked them or not, but just the emotion through all that and what the message was to the team in the locker room.
Listen, yeah, I spent a lot of time with the fans. 30 minutes out there going around the entire stadium, pictures, autograph, just as I normally do. But real gratitude to the fans, and it's mixed emotions because I'm genuinely showing gratitude to our fans, but I'm hurting for them, but my guys inside the staff, like I know it. There's a lot of people here that give an awful lot for 10, 11 months now. And it just, I know what they're feeling. So it's mixed as you're going through that, but it's important that we spend time with the fans and connect in the way that I did with them. So, yeah, Brady, that's part of it.
Coach Bryce Owens with Sports Forum Media. First of all, congratulations on an incredible season. What made this team so special to coach all year and this season so special to be a part of?
Well, what makes it so special is that it's any time, of course, there's different ways you define success, and some might just say it's trophies. Some might say it's you're putting yourselves in spot to compete for trophies. Some might say it's all about the journey and who you're doing that with and pulling in the same direction with a group of people and coaching staff and players and support staff and organization, and that's the beauty of it. And then you're also competing for trophies with that group, because if you just come together and it's not just for some fun, that's never what it's about. So what makes it special is that from top to bottom to top, everyone at this organization, from our ownership group to Porig and his crew and Wayne and to all of us cranking underneath, I think it's rare when you have that group of people given to the team, givers in every which way you look. I think that's what made it special, that the collective was the real superpower this year, and what that led to. It led to us competing for trophies, that we achieved a lot this year. That for me is what made it special, that the group of human beings that are at this club and the fearless soccer players that we have that committed to the team. They were all in on the togetherness that we asked for. They were all in on attacking and trying to score goals and push the tempo, especially in front of our fans. So, yeah, I think that's what really makes my job, which it doesn't stop for a head coach. But I'll tell you what, the people around me in this room, the people that I work with every day, they give me lots of energy to do a job. So, what an enjoyable season being around this group.
Hey, Coach, Keith Richards, Team MBS Media. Keegan mentioned that he felt that this is one of the best performances you had against the Galaxy this season. With the way that the season ended, not making it further in the playoffs, how do you take what he thought was a good performance and move that forward into next season to take the team another step forward?
Yeah, the reason he says it is because, most often against the Galaxy, it's, one of their strengths besides possession is that they can really punish in transition. So we had more control this game than any of the others. We had more of the ball, which meant we had more control, and we disrupted a lot of what they were trying to do. And that, when you're out there like Keegan, you probably think that feels good, as opposed to this up and back. And so, I think if we're 2-1 in stoppage time, knowing that one goal gets us into a really interesting position. So, and then the nature of the goals, right before halftime, the first one's a strange one, and that their guys battle back. And sometimes I've said it, for a guy like Keegan, and the players, it's a great reward when they bring their good stuff and they can go toe to toe with a really good team. So he feels validated in that way, that himself and the team showed up on the night, which they did. I give a lot of credit to the boys, and they didn't shrink in tough moments. So, yeah, we fell short, but I know that, I'm glad he feels proud of the effort tonight, in a big game.
Matt Pollard, Burgundy Wave. Chris, walk me through, how healthy was Georgie? How much was he begging to stay on the field? Maybe when you were thinking that he needed to come off, and could Cole just not go at all tonight?
Yeah, No, Cole definitely couldn't go tonight. And Georgie, I didn't check in with him. Like, he was out there. He took a couple of knocks, one on the ankle that brought about the yellow card. We know he played through some pain, but knowing we're a play away from a goal, and then minutes away from, if you get that, then you're in penalties. We wanted him on the pitch. He's our reference point. He's our leader. He's our, but we know that he pushed through. He dug deep for us. But we also know that's difficult without him and Cole. It's tricky, right? So yeah, we love Georgie, and he's a warrior. Showed it tonight.
When you look at the success you've had this season, the kind of groundwork you've laid for the culture, the play style, just what has been kind of the biggest lesson for you this year, and what makes you most excited about the next 2-3 years?
Yeah, the biggest lesson, I'm not sure. Biggest lesson, there's always a lot of learning moments for me as a coach and as a leader of the boys. There's a lot of that happens all the time. But look, I think what I'm most excited for is we've made some good steps, and we've established something real to build on. We have a core group of young players. We have a core group of players that we can build upon. The culture is strong. It's built on hard work, good people. I think we have clarity in what we try to do in terms of the game, and we're going to build on all of that. So I think that the main thing is that we have a core group of talented young men, really good pieces to build around, and that's what makes it exciting for me to. I know there's got to be a quick off season, but I'm going to get ready quickly for next preseason.
Whose idea was the different tactical shape, and how do you thought on how that worked? Reggie and Keegan and the roles that they were in, and making the Galaxy uncomfortable.
Yeah, look, Matt, it's I think a lot about match planning, and I had a decision to make in terms of, we had played the Galaxy 3 games. I think it was 11 goals for them, 3 for us. You can do the math. Something like that. But more so, when you think about their strengths, where maybe some weaknesses in that team, we hadn't been able to crack that code yet. And when we think about trying to have more control with the ball, the attacking structure that we had, that call it 3-4-3, we knew we can control the ball more, which could help control transition more. We thought that having Georgie, Kevin, and Ralph up there, tight 3 to press their 3 and put pressure on them, and really be aggressive with one extra presser with Keegan and Sam jumping. And I think it worked. I actually thought it was a plan of ours that could limit what they did. And on the night, I think if they had 12 shots and maybe 9, up until the 90th, we did a pretty good job. So yeah, we talk as a coaching staff, but it's always about, for me, understanding where the opposition is strong, where can we expose them, and then attack both areas. So I didn't want to sit here tonight at this table saying, well, you did the same thing you did in the last 3 games, Chris. So what was going to change? So I thought it was my responsibility to try to find a solution and to be aggressive and very proactive in an intelligent way. And we fell a little short. So, but I think it's interesting formation for us moving forward to consider.
Hey, Alex Labadie from Goal. 2 questions for you. One, if this group was healthy and full strength, is this series different? And then number 2, you mentioned about the core. How far do you think this core can take you next season?
Well, look, it's in theory, if we're healthy, you're right. I mean, we've lost some games in a row, maybe 5 or 6 in a row without Cole Bassett. Does he help things? He helps, right? So with him and Georgie, they really spark the attack. They Cole's an energy guy, but yeah, listen. In theory, our guys at our healthiest, I think it's only a positive. So would the series be different? I'm not sure how exactly it would unfold, but I think it certainly would help us. And yeah, the core group, it's for sure, it's just a strong core. You know, we've even added Reggie Cannon down the stretch. You know, so Georgie and Zach and Reggie, you have a bunch of these guys that are just top quality players. They're national team caliber players. So I think it's important that we take a step back and we look, you know, have a strategy and with the bosses and say how do we tweak things, add to the roster in certain ways, and because that's going to be important to do that to reach our ultimate goals. But we have to be honest and say what we have is pretty good too. We've accomplished a lot of good things, but we'll have those discussions the next days and weeks.